Hopefully everybody's navigating the turn okay. I see people are showing up at the bottom, things are looking up. We'll just run through these housekeeping items that are conveniently on your screen. We would like you to introduce yourself in the chat. We use the Q&A feature to ask questions, and you can upvote these. Your microphone is muted upon entry, your video is disabled upon entry, and you can use this closed caption button on the bottom panel to enable closed captioning, and the session will be recorded. So I'm going to kick us off because we have a tight timeline ahead of us. So welcome and thank you for joining us at the Technology and Education Seminar and Showcase 2020. I'm Robert Luke, and I joined the team here at eCampus Ontario about 6 weeks ago. We at eCampus Ontario are delighted that you've taken the time to be part of TESS this year. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our colleagues from Kenjigam and Teg, who recently joined eCampus Ontario as our 46th member and significantly our first member Indigenous Institute. Welcome. As Lutfi and Daniel have said, we have a great lineup, discussions, panel presentations, and breaks with a variety of entertainment. We have benefited from support and help from many people, not the least of which is our fantastic team who have worked behind the scenes to make this event what it will be, and in fact who are working behind the scenes right now to make sure that this is going well. We are also indebted to Jennifer Gordon from Humber College, who provided key input and advice on running a virtual conference. Thanks, Jennifer. In this virtual conference, we are all convening from different places. This is one of the things that makes the online environment special. The land acknowledgement Daniel read is an important way for us to begin our proceedings, and we can build on today's acknowledgement. Each of us can acknowledge the traditional territories from which we join the event today. To do this, I'll ask you to go to a link posted in the chat, and hopefully that is actually indeed getting posted, but I can put it in there myself, and find out which traditional territories you are on. Then please share this with everyone through the chat. I happen to be in East Toronto, the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, part of the larger Mississauga Nation. I've lived in many places in Canada and was born in Saskatchewan on Treaty 4 territory, which is the traditional home of the Cree, the Blackfoot, and Sioux. It is important to acknowledge our relationship to the land and those that have lived here before us. Doing so is an important reminder of our responsibility to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission calls to action. This social context informs our work. It includes the imperative to join the fight against anti-Black racism and anti-BIPOC racism, and to support equity, decolonization, diversity, and inclusion in everything that we do. Above all, we can seize this moment to rebuild and support an environment that prioritizes inclusion, representation, and voice. Taking time to remember and invoke the land outside is an important way to remind ourselves that our lives are so much more than technology at a time when so much, including this conference, is mediated by screens. And this is a significant time for us. We collectively have been navigating unprecedented changes due to COVID-19. We know that the pandemic has disproportionately affected those who are already experiencing marginalization. And so our theme this year, Humanizing Learning, is an appropriate way to think about the ways in which we can work together to make learning as human as it can be. Because most of us are now teaching and learning online as our default mode, we are navigating the different tools and approaches we can use to help ensure our online courses are as engaging as our face-to-face ones. And in this, it's important to remember that virtual learning is real learning. Many of you joining us today are leaders in creating innovative, interactive, and above all, high quality online learning experiences that result in meaningful learner engagement. We have the ability to ensure not only that our learners can access these quality experiences, but they can do so as part of their lifelong learning journey. The online learning experiences continue to get better and better, precisely because we convene at conferences like this and share our stories, our successes, and our failures. These events, virtual or otherwise, are important conduits for our own professional development that in turn have positive effects on our collective ability to model learning as an active way of engaged living. Our sector, and indeed the world, went through the sudden pivot when the pandemic first hit. You are all to be commended for navigating this sudden turn. The work we have done together over the past 5 years provided our sector with guidance and leadership on creating quality online learning environments, which has greatly benefited the sudden shift to remote learning. We now turn to the question of scale. How do we build on the work we have done to continue to provide high quality learning environments that generate enthusiasm, engagement, and a sense of connection in our learners? We can do this by embracing the principles of human-centered design that remind us to put the needs of the learner and the social context in which we all live at the center of our curriculum design. So welcome to TESS 2020. I'm certain you will enjoy the program. To get things started, I'm extremely pleased to introduce the Honorable Ross Romano, Minister of Colleges and Universities. Minister Ross Romano was first elected to be the member of Provincial Parliament for Sault Ste. Marie on June 1, 2017 in the provincial by-election. After spending a year as a member of the official opposition, serving as the critic for Northern Ontario Jobs in the Ring of Fire, Minister Romano was re-elected as a member of the Ontario government and became the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Energy, Northern Development and Mines, as well as the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Indigenous Affairs. On June 20th, 2019, Minister Romano was sworn into Ontario's cabinet as the Minister of Colleges and Universities. Minister Romano is a fierce advocate for the post-secondary sector. He believes that any investment in Ontario's post-secondary sector is an investment in job creation and economic growth. Ontario's post-secondary institutions are ready partners who have a long history of building programs that reflect the social and economic needs of both learners and industry. Minister Romano is committed to ensuring that Ontario students have access to a high caliber education and remain competitive in the global workforce. I can tell you from having spoken with Minister Romano on many occasions that he is a tireless proponent for our sector. He is leading us in the ongoing development and evolution of a post-secondary environment in which learners can access education in new ways, including through micro-credentials that scaffold learning and learners across their careers and throughout their lives. Minister Romano rose in the House on the 15th of September this year to talk about the importance of our sector and how he is working to position our sector to be an international leader in digital learning. And so it is very fitting that he joins us virtually today to welcome you to our conference. A little bit of stage direction here. TESS is comprised of a mixture of live and recorded sessions, as you heard in the introduction. Head on over to the agenda and use the Join Broadcast button to watch Minister Romano's welcome. Thank you and have a great conference.